So some people think that their relationships don't really affect their business, or the fact that things in their personal life are separate from the things that happen in their business, the patterns in their relationships are different from business. But truth is, the way we do one thing is the way we do everything, right? And in this video, I'm going to talk about three codependent patterns that are usually present in relationships, but can actually be transferred over as well in business. And if these are present in your business, then it will really affect the type of clients you attract and, the amount of sales that you make in your business. So if you want more clients, better clients, the best clients, or if you want to increase your sales, then make sure you listen to this so that you can be aware of these patterns and you can shift them, because once you do, just watch your business change as well. All right, sign number one is that you feel responsible for your clients' results. It's kind of like if your clients don't get the results, then it is your fault, that it is somehow your job to get your clients to get results. Now, of course, there's a difference between, not ethically giving what you promised in your service or your program, right? But you're not like that. You are someone who is ethical, right? So if you can tell yourself that you truly are someone who delivers, but still somehow feels responsible for your client's results, then that's a codependent pattern, right? How? Because when usually people who have codependent patterns or tendencies have this responsibility or feel responsible for other people's results, for other people's feelings. They feel responsible and take on things that are not theirs to take responsibility for everyone else's other than their own, right? That's a codependent pattern. So when somehow you feel responsible for your client's results, even though you can objectively look at yourself and know that, you've given enough, you've helped your clients as best as you can for this moment in time based on where you're at in your journey. If you've already given as much as you can, as best as you can, but you're still feeling this deep responsibility, then that's something that you get to shift, right? That's something that you get to be more aware about, because what this does is that if you feel completely responsible for your client's results and you have a feeling about it, and if integrity is one of your core values, then if you don't feel that you're doing enough for your clients, are you likely to want more clients, right? Probably not. If you feel guilty that you're not giving enough, that imposter syndrome starts to come and will eventually hold you back from really delivering your best or attracting more clients, right? Because if you feel responsible and you perceive that you're not doing enough, then are you going to put yourself back in that situation with more clients? Most likely not, right? So if you're finding this pattern, excuse me, look at yourself honestly and see if there's any responsibility there that you don't have to take, right? How can you let go of that? How can you reprogram that so you don't have to put that burden on yourself, and allow yourself to trust you and trust your clients that they are going to receive what they need to receive after you have delivered what you actually promised. Number two, do you avoid conflict? Do you try so hard to avoid it or not really face conflict and kind of would prefer running away from them? Now, of course, there's going to be some sort of discomfort when dealing with conflict, right? It's always something that it's not very pleasant to do. But do you avoid it, and instead of avoiding conflict, you try to fix it, trying to fix it instead of addressing it head on and working with it that way? Instead of doing that, you just kind of tend to try to fix up here instead of dealing with a problem. For example, one of your clients maybe didn't or like fell off their payment plan or something like that, right? and you wanted to address it. And do you avoid that type of confrontation, right? Or do you address it head on? Because avoiding conflict like this is a codependent pattern, right? Because as someone with codependent tendencies, you really truly care about what other people think about you, and you don't want to hurt other people's feelings, right? And so because you don't want to hurt other people's feelings, you avoid conflict like a with a 10-foot pole, right? You don't want to get near that shit. And, so when this is showing up in your business, maybe you've hired a team member and you're really like, they're not performing as best as possible, and you have, resistance talking about it and addressing it and constructively giving feedback for them. That is a codependent pattern, right? Because you care too much about what other people feel. You somehow feel responsible for their feelings. You tippy toe around other people's feelings and results, and not really allow you to express your own truth. A very codependent pattern. So when this shows up in your business, right, this is a big issue, right? Of course it is, because if you have a team member that's not performing that well, then that's going to affect the dynamics of your team, of your flow, of how your business is run, right? It's also, if you have clients who delay their payments and you don't address them, then like, what does that do to them, right? Like, they're receiving your program without reciprocating what they need to reciprocate, such as payment, right? And so if that happens, if those distressing things happen as well, then like, what do you think? How does that make you feel, right? It makes you frustrated. And when you're coming from that place, are you going to be in the best place to deliver, to market, right? To go on sales calls. So this really, really does affect you and your business. So how can you allow yourself to feel confident enough to be able to give the constructive feedback, right? To be able to address the conflict head on instead of waiting, right? How can you just like rip that band-aid off? These are the questions you want to ask yourself, because once you not only address this, however you want to address it, whether it be on the business side or on the relationship side, tippy-toeing on your family and friends feelings instead of clearly expressing your truth. That's how it comes up in relationships. Very similar in business, right? And so how can you address this? Because once you are able to see the different patterns and how it shows up in these areas in your life, imagine how much impactful that will be. Imagine if you can just address conflict head on and just get it over with, and allow yourself to gain that confidence. That'll give you more confidence when you're able to address conflict head on, right? And it allows for the dynamics of your team, of your business, to be fresh. Wouldn't that be great? And number 3 is about using your business as a distraction. So what does that mean? That means that you use business as, as something, as an excuse to put your more time in it, instead of dedicating some of that time for yourself, right? And I mean, I'm in business, I love business, and I do love putting in the effort towards it, but at the same time making sure that I also allow myself to do the self-care activities that help recharge me, right? It wasn't always that way, especially when I was very codependent, when that pattern was very much present in my life. I just focused on the business and not my health, not my exercise, not my movement, not my nutrition, right? I didn't focus on those things. I focused on the business because, I really wanted to help people. I really wanted to impact people, which is true in a way, but it got too far to a point where I made it as a distraction, as an excuse as to what was really truly going on, which was, back then my marriage needed sorting out. So, instead of helping myself, I attempted to help others, which really just backfired because at the heat of that really peaked up codependent pattern, sales were shit, right? I wasn't attracting enough clients. My copy was shit, right? Like everything was not good. You could kind of tell in my videos that I was retracting a little bit and not really fully giving it as best as I was capable of, because I was giving I was giving my energy to the wrong place, to the place where it didn't need to be in at first. It first needed to start within and then do that stuff, right? Of course, doing those things makes you feel good as well, but only if you come from a place where you're already refreshed and recharged. So when you're finding yourself being distracted with the business, adding projects on top of projects, even though you feel overwhelmed already, you're adding a new shiny thing. Maybe you've just bought that course from that shiny object, right? Another new training, another new book to read for, I apologize, to read for your business. What are those distractions, right? What are those distractions, and are you distracting yourself from what you truly need to be working on, which is, filling your own cup and also allowing yourself to grow, to be nourished, to be healthy, right? Health is wealth. So are you seeing that pattern, right? Are you giving too much away to something else other than your own? Because that is a codependent pattern. When people who have codependent tendencies are usually the ones who attend to everyone else before they own. They don't feel worthy or deserving of others. So is that showing up in your business as well? Are you giving everything away instead of giving yourself the time and compassion and energy and even money for yourself, and allowing yourself to nourish yourself, right? Allowing yourself to not feel guilty for taking the time to do that. Because once you're able to, to do all these things for yourself, you'll come from a place of ease, of fulfillment. And wouldn't that be a better state to be in when you're running your business, right? It is all connected. Everything is connected. Everything we do is connected. And when we can see that, that's very, very empowering, right? That's empowering because we can control it, right? We can control our thoughts, our actions, and behaviors. So when you're able to see these three things, right? When you're finding that you feel responsible for your client's results, when you're feeling that you're avoiding any type of conflict that not just in your business, but in your personal life as well, when you're putting all your energy everywhere else first before your own, then these are patterns that you really need to be shifting, because once it does, it'll just rocket fuel the results of your business. Because once you are no longer able to attach the results, when you are no longer able to feel responsible for your clients' results, and you're able to allow your clients the freedom, they can feel that too, and then they'll feel empowered to actually do things for themselves. And wouldn't that be better for your clients if they can do that themselves, because they're impacting themselves, which just makes that relationship with them more fulfilling. Once you actually address the conflict, that internal conflict also is relieved within you, and it decreases your stress, and you're more able to actually find solutions to the problem instead of it building up. And you're able to run things more effortlessly once you actually address the conflict head on. And when you're able to take the time for yourself, you're more likely to be coming from a place of service, right? Your marketing gets better because you don't have the desperation or the resentment energy from not addressing your own needs. So when you're able to do all this, then everything just feels much more effortless for you and your business. And this is exactly what I help my clients repattern when working together, because it's truly, truly, truly important. And if you allow yourself to go on for way too long, then it's very difficult to scale coming from a place of codependency, right? Because then you're just attaching too much to the things that you cannot control. And when you scale, you need to be in a place coming from expansion, right? Instead of overly controlling the minute things. So I hope this helps. Any questions below? any aha moments below. And any aha moments, comment them below. Otherwise, I will see you soon.